Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host. Alongside me, I have a slew of people tonight. James, Sakura, Javi, Rob, and Malachi. Everybody coming on tonight. How's it going, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? It's going great.
All right.
We're doing good.
Let's jump right into it. I'm wrong again. This week I'm kind of batting 0 for I don't even know how many lately. But one thing's for sure. I think it was a step up for Shakur, but he definitely answered and answered well. Not only is he at Herring's level, he's surpassed it. He made Herring look really bad and really amateur. I mean, it is pretty one-sided, guys. James?
Yeah, no, I saw him destroy Herring, destroy Frampton, and he did everything well. He did everything right. And in this one, he couldn't get off. I mean, he couldn't get the jab off. He just got cut off, and he had his hands full. It was a rough outing for Herring.
Really was. Rob, how impressed were you? How proud are you of Shakur Stevenson answering this call?
Listen, man, I've said this before and y'all don't understand it. Maybe it's just a hip-hop thing. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Now, yes, I'm going to pick on you, Lucas. To put it in your terms, he leveled up.
He did.
He leveled up.
He did.
Y'all wanted to see the young man go up on levels. You picked him not to win for that very reason, and he leveled up. It's exactly what I said with this kid. It's like one of these NFL teams out there right now that I ain't gonna mention names, where they kind of play up to the level of competition. Unfortunately, that's what I feel like you have with Stevenson. When the chips are against him, people want to see more. They want to bad talk him. He's going to play up to that level of competition. When he has somebody in front of him that's very weak, people don't feel as a big threat, he might level down a little bit. It is what it is. But in terms of what he did on Saturday, he proved y'all wrong.
Y'all who?
Naysayers like Timothy Bradley.
That's what I'm wondering. I picked Shakur.
Exactly.
Everybody did but me. I thought it was too big of a step up in experience. I was wrong. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time.
You were not wrong in that it was a big step up. It was. He was fighting a guy with a lot of good experience and just handled it beautifully. Nailed it.
I mean, handled him. Let's go ahead and go to the tweet of the week, Sakura.
All right, I'm all ready for it, and it's secure, and he's already. Seems like he's already having problems, guys, with the next opponent. We got Shakur saying, "Now we've been calling out Oscar Valdez, for how long now? Now I see top-ranking reporters with a voice talking about Valdez versus Navarrete. Laugh out loud emoji. So now after the taking the belt from the champ and the best performance of my career, we're talking Valdez fighting a 126-pounder. Coming soon. Okay. My question to you guys is it all about the bag? Is it all about the purse? Or is it a little avoidance there?
Isn't Shakur top rank?
Yes, they are both top.
Okay, the way he said top rank in that tweet makes me think that he's not top rank. You know what I mean? Like, this is in-house. This should be able to be made. So what's the problem, guys?
I don't think there's a problem. I think they're letting it marinate. And Shakur is like getting a little impatient because he wants to get that title from Valdez. And yeah, he's been calling out Valdez. I think Valdez also called him out, but I believe it's a matter of having the right numbers, building Shakur a little more because Shakur, as good as he is, I don't think he has a strong base as Navarrete or Valdez. money-wise, business-wise, Navarrete Valdez makes more sense than Shakur against any of them, right? Now, as much as we love the sport, we gotta keep it real. Lately, it's been more business than sport, so business is gonna come first. People gonna try to make some money, so that's gonna be Valdez Navarrete, and then, well, we're probably gonna get a fight later on with Shakur if he keeps growing his audience or something, or he can bring that type of leverage to the table.
For sure. And you're not wrong there. Shakur does not have a very big following at all.
Valdez deserves to choose his next opponent. Hats off to Herring, who's an excellent champion. But the boogeyman at that division was Burchell, and Valdez annihilated him. So he has the right to pick his first opponent. He can pick it, especially if it's going to be a bigger purse. And as Javi said, Shakur needs to have more of these performances, because the criticism coming into this fight was Shakur's I don't want to call it lackluster performances, but there were some performances where you felt that if he would have just turned it up a notch or two, he could have got the guy out of there. This was the aggression I think everybody wanted to see from him. Rob he clearly is high on Shakur, but there was reasons for the criticism. But he proved to everybody that he's a legitimate world champion. He beat a quality world champion, but the man at that division was Burchell. So Valdez, again, he can pick his first opponent.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I disagree.
I can't help but watching Shakur Stevenson versus Herring and being like, was he holding back in previous fights? Because that was not the performance that I was expecting. Now, I know Shakur Stevenson's a great fighter, but I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean?
He looked badass, didn't he?
Man.
I mean, the size. People kept saying, oh, Herring's, bigger. I was one that felt that Herring was going to come in like, super big, the way he kind of looked in the Frampton fight. But instead, he didn't really get, too big after the weigh-in. And instead, we saw a real beefy and strong Stevenson come to the ring and stood his ground against Herring, who thought that he was going to be able to pressure him back. But he ended up being, or at least feeling like he was the bigger guy. And I don't think that Herring's camp even thought that he was going to come in at that weight and look that strong. I think they were kind of put off guard by like, dang, I thought we was fighting a kid. This guy coming in here looks like a monster. So,
yeah, because Herring had trouble.
Plan and strategy all off right. And by the way, guys, can we stop this? He does have a baby on the way, remember? And we got this little saying where, if you're having a baby, then you're getting soft and stuff. Well, the exact opposite happened with Shakur. So we can just put this whole, controversy to bed about boxers having babies and it making them weak and shit. I don't want to hear that.
Guess that baby's getting some new shoes. I'll tell you what, man.
It made me softer.
He was really, really impressive. I mean, I was surprised because Herring was having trouble getting that jab off because he was getting countered so quickly. Man, he was in trouble. First round, second round, it just got worse, progressively worse. And for the referee to say enough is enough when he was still, good on his feet, he was still standing, beat up, he was cut, a lot of swelling around his right eye, I guess. And referee just said, you're done. And man, that's a bad sign.
Now,
I mean, it's
now,
just,
did you agree with that stoppage?
Honestly, I kind of wanted to see it continue because I was just really impressed with what I was seeing in Shakur. But at the same time, man, we gotta, be humane about this and realize it's sporting activity and enough is right.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for me, Herring, I didn't really see a chance of Herring coming back and getting a knockout. He's not that kind of a fighter. I think he was, out of it and not able to win. So he was already out of the fight. I think, the stoppage was good enough for me. Malachi, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I did see some criticism around the internet concerning the stoppage. I thought that he had enough at that point. He was catching a lot of clean combinations, not just punches, just combinations. And there's just no, as you stated, he, barring I don't want to say a lucky punch because there's no luck in boxing, but barring him catching Shakur with something and getting a flash knock, I just didn't see him coming back either. So I agree with the stoppage.
Okay, let's see. We got some comments here. Shakur made up for his last outing. CJ Hooker. I agree with you completely. Like I said, if he looked like that in his last fight, then I'd be picking him against Herring, but that wasn't the case. Angel.
That's the thing, though. I mean, style makes fights, and the funny thing is, a lot of us didn't know who this kid was. His last opponent. Yeah, he came and gave Shakur more of a tough fight than Herring did. Herring being the most fighter.
Was that Nakathila or something like that?
Yeah, some African kid. And I personally, I'm probably one of the few ones. I don't criticize it, but I felt like Herring being the champion, he probably could have finished the fight, the whole 12th round on his feet. Yeah, he was getting outboxed, he was getting outclassed, but I never saw him being badly hurt. You know what I'm saying? I never saw him already out on his feet. We've seen in some other fights, and they don't stop the fights. So I mean, I can see how the stoppage, and I can see how he's not the type that's gonna bring a late knockout or probably his chances to come up with something where it was already really low. But that was a good fight, and there was times where even though Herring looked outclassed and outboxed, you can still see he haven't give up yet. He still haven't got the memo okay, I'm supposed to lose this fight, so I'm gonna act like it. No, he was still pushing, trying his best. Of course, things weren't going his way, but I feel like we've seen worse beatdowns, and we kind of get mad that they got stopped, but now it's that was more of somebody being outboxed badly, not really hurt like that, just outboxed. Because Shakur, I don't know. I mean, I can see the power on his shot, but I don't see some type of power that's gonna hurt somebody, and unless
but Javi, isn't it repeated blows to the head? It's usually not the one and you're out that does it in. It's the repeatedness of just getting your head rocked back and forth that does the damage.
There's a lot of things that might affect that. It could be that. It could be the fact where sometimes fighters dehydrate so much that they're so weak, the body can't take that much punishment. There's a lot of things. But I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at the stoppage. I just thought that respecting the champion, you could have given him a chance to finish the fight on his feet.
And I hear what you're saying, but to me, if this was listen, if Herring was Valdez, right, then we know Valdez has that one shot, he's back in it. I love Herring. Herring's a great fighter, but that's not Herring. That's not how he fights. He doesn't have that in his arsenal. Therefore, I mean, he's done. He's out of the fight. Rob, I'm going to go to comments, but you go ahead and you say what you're going to say first.
Y'all are touching on something in a comment that was made that completely pissed off Andre Ward. And that's you talking about power. And Andre Ward really was pissed about Tim Bradley's comments because that's what he made. And the point you're trying to make there is one punch knockout power versus power, okay? Because that's really the only argument you can have here. We all can agree on this panel that Herring was getting his ass handed to him. We all can agree with that. The stoppage is valid. There was no coming back. He wasn't even really effectively defending himself at that point in the fight. We all can agree that a stoppage could have happened. We should agree to that. Now, what Javi wants to bring to the table is the same thing Timothy Bradley wanted to bring. and that's the knockout ability. He has knockout ability. It's like Lucas was saying, the combination and the range of the punches and the amount of damage that it can do throughout the fight. Also, the accuracy. When you look at a guy like Shakur, you look at the whole ability that he brings, because it's not just the accurate punching. It's not just the accurate shots, the combinations to the body and to the head. It's the defense as well that plays a part in it, because you can't catch the guy. Therefore, it looks like you're completely blacked out on the cards. And then that frustrates you and drains you as well. It's exactly what I said last time. The boy dictates the fight, every fight. And Herring tried to step in there and not let him do it. And he didn't succeed.
Yeah, that's true. He got shut down pretty bad. Everything that Herring had was Shakur had a response for it, and it came in counter punches, and it came in good combinations. And his footwork is good because he tends to stay inside and fight it out. And that to me tells me that he's going to be tough at 130, and if he ever moves up, whatever it is, man, he's wherever he goes is going to be tough. I'm thinking about his next opponent, man, and I just can't help but thinking Shakur Stevenson against Rob Conceição. I think that would be a fight, because I don't see this thing with Valdez happening anytime soon.
Now let me go back to that real quick, James, because I wanted to address that too. Oscar, if you're a man and you are scared of Shakur, just say that. Just say you're afraid to fight him. Otherwise, let's stop getting this BS politics.
Wait.
Ain't nobody
the boogeyman of the division, and now he's scared of Shakur Stevenson.
Who's the boogeyman?
Burchelt was the boogeyman of that division, bro. 130.
Burchelt,
He was,
yeah. Burchelt.
Yeah.
Burchelt got handled.
He got destroyed, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
So why that doesn't make no, like you're making an argument that he's scared of Shakur Stevenson.
So Burchelt is a different animal. He's gonna come forward. He doesn't have the skill level that Shakur has. Period. He had the heart. He had the power. He had all of that. He doesn't have the skill level that Shakur has. And let's not get distracted from the fact that Valdez didn't look that great in his last fight, and the people are on to him. Okay, so those supplements that he might have taken, he's not gonna work this time. He's under a close microscope.
Wow, we went from putting Valdez on the top pound. He was the man. He was like, I mean, how can the man call the man scary? Look at his level of position. The man fought with a broken jaw. The man fought with a broken hand. The man took over the biggest boogeyman, not only in size, in power, in style, and everything. Burchelt. Don't nobody wanted to fight Burchelt. Look what he did to Burchelt. And not too long ago, my man was over here admiring the man. Now, last week he saw Shakur. Now Valdez is scared of Shakur automatically, according to him. I feel like Valdez wants that fight too, but like I said, they have to marinate it. They'll have to make sure that the numbers make sense, because if not, they're not gonna afford to have Navarrete or Valdez lose badly, so that jackpot gets messed up. There's a way to do things in boxing, and you guys should know by now the way things move.
Well, we're dealing with the master of the marinade, King Marinade. It's Bob Arum, and so it's gonna be a while before we see this. They'll both fight. They'll have their if Valdez is gonna fight Navarrete, so be it. Wherever Shakur goes, he'll look good.
I think they'll set it up sooner than later. I don't think it's too far. I say 2023. I think that fight happens.
Maybe late 2022. I'm thinking, but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not
think
that long. That's not too long to marinate.
Honestly, it's just not their next outing.
No,
just not.
Wait much longer, guys. Shakur is not going to hang around in this weight division for 2-3 years when everybody that's making real deal money is at lightweight right now. Besides Oscar Valdez fight, that's why he wants that Oscar Valdez fight now. Yeah. But a lot of boxers that I understand as champions, like their mentality is, well, I had to go through this and that before I got a title shot, and now you think you can just call me out after you just had one good performance and got one belt? I mean, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this money, okay, with Navarrete, and then you can sit and wait if you want this belt. But otherwise, I'm not gonna stop my plans because you just got to the division, and now you have one championship, and you calling me out. Yeah. Like that's how they feel. They feel like you can't just. They feel like you need to work to get the fight with them as you're a champion too. So that's the mentality.
Yeah, and you can't blame them for feeling that way. Rob is basically what he said embodied like the boxing fan, the common boxing fan that's watching and like, now I want to see him Valdez. Now you ain't shit. You ain't, you know what I mean? It's always like, what have you done lately in boxing? And right now he's like, I want this now. You need to make this fight. But
you guys let's go to crazy though, man, because this is exactly what you guys say you want to see.
I'm not saying I don't want to see it.
Trying to get a man a pass.
I just want to see, honestly, sorry about that. I just want to see Robson Conceição face Shakur next. I think that would be a hell of a match. That would be, Javi, that'd be better than the nice one.
I'm tuning
That'd
in.
be a war.
Yeah.
That would be a war.
Lucas, you got some comments.
Oh, yeah. Dahlia Duran says Shakur footwork was on point, just the perfect timing. Can't agree more. Yeah. CJ Hooker, Shakur is going to have some big money fights coming. All roads lead to down the road a super fight with Tank Davis. And that we're going to definitely talk about.
And I'm going with Shakur on that one. Shakur.
We're going to touch on that. Jesus says, keep up the great work, guys. Thank you. Dale Peoples, Shakur was pitching his shutout. When a fighter is absorbing that much, punish it. Why not stop it so Jamal can fight another day? We didn't hear Herring complaining about the stoppage. Brick City, Newark, my hometown, the future of greatness.
Hey, yes, sure got it. And Dale did make a great point, but I really felt like the corner was the one that should have took the onus and just stopped the fight because he had no, way of winning at that point in the fight, and Shakur was just getting more and more vicious, which that's what I love. When I see a boxer that knows how to go for the blood and the killer instinct, I'm like, oh yes. Complete package for me. I was like, energized off it. But I just feel like, as far as what Javi's saying, as a champion, you are supposed to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them try to play that out, for something great. But I feel that, his team, they should have seen enough is enough, for sure.
And he has said he wants Tank down the road. Javi, I did hear you say that you pick Shakur in that one. Do you see that fight going similar to Herring? Because, he's got to prepare. That has to come with a different strategy. He's going to have to adapt to Tank's strategy.
Definitely. I don't see it the same way as Herring. Of course not. It will be more competitive and way more explosive. But I think Shakur defensiveness is a little bit more superb than Tank's power. Because in order for you to make the most out of your power, you have to connect. And it's really hard to connect with Shakur. And even when you do connect, he knows how to take away the bit from the punch. He knows how to roll with the punch, pull a little back so that, there's little things, there's a little subtle things that he does that you can understand, like he's in another level. The kid has all the talent, the timing, the footwork, the reflex, the speed, the way he put the torque on his punches, everything. It just and I feel like he's gonna dominate the whatever weight class he's going, but I feel like he can use a little bit of more, like, let's say, fan base, so that he can claim for bigger fights like that. Like that if he can make a solid fan base, he can make that pay-per-view, if it ever goes to fruition, that fight against Tank.
Well, that's all Tank does now is pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, in that
when,
fight,
when you guys...
Tank's the A-side, right?
when you're talking Tank Stevenson. I mean, that's 135, so that's a ways off, isn't it?
I
We're
think, I
talking
think, I think Stevenson will go to 135 eventually.
But
eventually, but I mean,
Tank
we're
have a belt at 130. He has a belt at 130, right? He
Hmm.
took it off of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
was at 140 in his last fight against Barrios. So it could be 135 or 140. You never know with Tank or the catchweight situation where, two titles are on the line. There's all kinds of scenarios that work for that. But the teams have to be like, willing to go for that. I'm sure Shakur's team would love that fight. It's a money fight. But you guys, like, you're saying that he doesn't have enough followers, but my goodness, he had like almost all the fans that were there in that arena that night were Shakur fans. I mean, I never seen people boo a U.S. veteran before as a boxer. I didn't like that at all. I was like, damn. And I think that really got to Heron before the fight even started. He was looking like he wanted to like literally cry, guys. I mean, it's hard for a U.S. veteran to like sit there and hear people booing after you've like dedicated your life for so many years to this country. And I think it did something to him before the fight even started. I was like, oh God, he looks like he's already lost. But I don't agree with them actually booing him like that. But to
that's
say
pretty low.
he doesn't have any fans is kind of like not being genuine.
Well,
and of that, his lady also, she got like 1 point something million followers herself. So they're working a IG and a social media following right now. And with that performance, I'm sure it's going to be way better in his next album.
he doesn't
Well,
even have
his girl is,
82,000 followers. 82. He doesn't even have 82 on Twitter. I mean, that's pretty low.
Yeah,
Since when are we in the decade now that we have to look at damn followers to judge a fighter?
I mean,
That's
we're not.
what I'm saying, guys. I'm
Listen. We're
surprised.
not judging
It's
the
not-
fighter. We're not
we know the
judging the
fighter.
fighter. We're judging who would be the A side, who's bringing the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Tank.
And
Yeah, but
clearly,
It's not even close. Tank already sold on pay per view.
yeah, it's not close.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not an insult to Shakur Stevenson. I'm just saying, and it has nothing to do with boxing whatsoever. That's only as far as the negotiations play. This the A side, B side garbage that we have to deal with in boxing. Now, I think we can all agree now that Tank is the A side.
Right.
For now. Things can change, but I don't know if it would, just because Tank will always bring that flair.
Yeah.
And he has that knockout power, that style that is so TV friendly. He's going to be the A side.
Yeah.
I take it nobody's taking
He
Roly.
didn't have a problem with being the B side. Remember, he said he actually liked it. I'm sorry, Malachi, but he said that he didn't have a problem with being a B side. So we would have to see how he feels about that when it's a totally different fighter like Javante St. Davis as an A side. That's a whole different beast.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so, Sakura. I mean, some people can thrive in the B side. I mean, if you look at what Usyk's done, he's rode that B side.
Right.
You know what I mean? He rode that underdog, and he's been that underdog, and it's gotten him far. But some people, when it comes to those negotiations, start being like, you know what I mean? That's nope. I need paid more than that, and I need this, and
Right.
start making demands that you can't really demand.
Lucas, though, who looked like the A side in that fight Saturday night?
Hey, ain't no disagreement there.
It's a fact.
Plus side. A plus side.
A plus side, okay. Sounds like my.
And we're talking Gervonta Davis here, but that's a ways off. I mean, I can see Shakur eventually moving up, but we're looking at 12, 18 months down the road. I think the one who's in the crosshairs is Oscar Valdez, but I just don't see that being made so quickly, so soon. That's kind of abrupt, being that we're dealing with Bob Arum here. That man knows how to marinate shit. He can marinate shit. Let's put it that way. I mean, and this fight it's going to take off. It's going to be huge, but it's just not coming that quick.
No.
Again, man. Again, the question is, who is Shakur's next?
We'll see.
Maybe Chris Colbert, maybe, possibly.
Mm.
I don't see that happening at all right now.
He's a little young for that one, but I'm wondering.
William Hunter says
Shakur looked really good.
Chris Colbert's
Who's
a
gonna
pretty
want
good
to fight
fighter.
him now? Who's gonna step up?
He is, but young.
That's a good fighter. That's a good fighter, Colbert. That's a good
He
fighter.
could-
That would be a solid fight.
That would be a real good fight.
I wonder if he would get that. It's kind of soon in his career for a fight with Stevenson.
I don't see it happening right now.
let's see. William Hunter said Tank's about to go in deep waters that only Francisco Fonseca has taken him there before.
He's talking about the Rolly fight.
He's talking about Rolly.
Yeah. We'll touch on that when he gets closer.
Completely winning the troll game on this one. He's trolling the hell out of Davis. I love his outtakes. They're hilarious. The way he dressed at the press conference, it was perfect. He's definitely winning that aspect right now.
He knows how to be a villain. I mean, he's a good villain. I love it.
Oh man. What is next for Herring, guys? Because
So that's a sad subject.
I mean,
because
right.
really
He went from champion, I think, to the back of the line as far as it looks.
Yeah.
Rob, go ahead.
It looked worse because he really, really looked bad after that fight with his whole body language, his demeanor, and what he was saying. I think he's seriously contemplating retirement right now, unfortunately. And Bomac was totally against it, like, don't even put in his head. Zuna or whoever that was interviewing him, had put it in his head that he could be a broadcaster maybe. And Bomac was like, don't say that. But yeah.
I agree. He got beat by probably the best, new contender that's out here right now in that weight zone. I mean, that's nothing to be like, let me retire now. Like you was fighting a phenom, dude. Like that same scenario would happen with almost everybody else in that division, almost. Except when somebody, because the levels are so, like, look at Gonzalez, how he performed the other week, 2 weeks ago, but how he looked so inadequate in the fight against Shakur. Like, the levels are like just multiple levels. Like, there's no reason for him to be having his head down and thinking that he's not a great boxer because you lost to a phenom. Like, you can't do that to yourself. Because it's just, I mean, like I said, that scenario would have happened with a lot of boxers.
Do that.
Yeah, but like I was saying though, that's what his language and everything was telling me. So if it's not retirement, which it should not be, I can see a long layoff. Unfortunately, I see a long layoff at least.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can see a long layoff if he hasn't been active, but he's been active, and I don't think a loss is gonna put him to go cry on the corner and reconsider.
Hobby, it did though. He did that. He did say, "Oh, I don't know, man. I gotta chop it up with my wife and everybody, cause I don't know." Bomac was screaming that he shouldn't, that he shouldn't even consider that, man. The man was crying.
Come on.
He was crying out there, acting like he was ready to retire.
He ain't lost in a long time now, So
did you see the end of the fight?
After a big fight like that, though, emotions run high. How many people have retired and not came right back out? You can't ask somebody if you were going to think about retirement right after a fight.
Man, no,
Especially
they didn't. They
losing
asked
one
him
bad.
what was next, and he mentioned retirement.
I know, but when you mention something next, of course that's always...
No,
a
it shouldn't. No,
possibility.
it's not. I know it's not. A real fighter would never consider retirement.
You're saying...
Never.
What?
I mean, you're talking about the position that Herring takes on, and he could be that measuring stick where a lot of people coming up the ranks, have to face him, and he's going to have a good several fights, at that positioned in that in that manner. Let's say so. Any again, any competitor coming up, at 130 or whatever weight he's at, he's going to be a measuring stick there. He's got a lot of good, solid fights in front of him, so he's got a lot of experience. So he's not going away. I don't see him retiring at all.
And if he does, so what? Maybe he doesn't want to become the measuring stick. Maybe he
That's
doesn't
what I
want to
was gonna
become
ask you.
a gatekeeper.
Exactly. Do you? It depends on like where he's at in life. Where I think he was. I don't know if anybody else does. I follow him on social media, and he has been doing some broadcasting. He seems to enjoy it. He's rather good at it. Does he really want to become that measuring stick though? Because really, is that how? Because looking at the champions of the current landscape of that division, I don't see him as one of the. Could he beat Valdez? Could he beat Burchell? Could he beat Shakur Stevenson? Obviously not. He just lost to him. So does he want to be that measuring sticker, and is he going to stick around for that payday?
Right.
When he could get paid to sit on the side and talk about the sport and keep his mind where it is already,
It's not the same kind of money. It is not the same kind of money, though.
Money at all. And Styles makes fights, guys. He need to at least give it his all and go in there and fight one more of these top fivers of that division and see where the chips fall, because it's not like he's the type of fighter that's lackluster or over the hill or something. Like, he just fought like the best guy that's in my opinion. He's like the best guy that's like from the one, from the super featherweight to probably 140 right now. Like, if he wanted to just move up, if Shakur wanted to move up, he beats almost everybody in that division too, except we could come to Tank with the knockout power. I mean, that's not no ordinary fight for you to decide to, just go ahead and rest in peace your career.
I don't know if I agree completely with what you said. Just jumping up and he's going to beat everybody except Tank. That's a big statement.
Well, who you think who's going to beat him at lightweight?
There's other people though, and jumping up weight classes, things change.
To 130,
okay?
at 135?
Sometimes your ability to take a punch is different.
It's lightweight, 135. By the time
Teofimo Lopez.
I mean, there's a lot.
Teo's moving up.
Malachi,
but he hasn't moved up yet. No,
right.
He's not going to be at that damn division by the time Shakur gets to that division. He's just not. There's no way he maintains that for what we're talking about is another 2 years.
And he beats Lomachenko.
And Linares even. No. I mean, Ryan Garcia. Name any of them like that are top guys, and that's a question mark for me. That's not a for sure thing, definitely.
Did we watch the same fight the other night?
We did.
That was Herring. That wasn't.
That's still
Haney.
Yeah. There's still levels.
Teofimo Lopez. It wasn't any of these guys that we're talking about.
Yeah, Devin Haney got rocked by freaking Linares, who's not known for his power, even though he's good at catching people with some unexpected power. I mean, I don't see him taking punches from Shakur. I just don't. That's just on the power line. That's not including the skill level and the the different aspects of his defense.
For me, when you go up though,
that I've seen,
your resistance to power goes down, and your actual power of how you affect other fighters also goes down. So if you don't have the power to keep them off, you don't have the power to keep them honest, then they're gonna walk through your jabs. They're gonna walk through you.
And this is a guy that's had power question marks all the way back to 126. People were like, well, does he have real power? He's got a lot of skill, but does he have real power? And he didn't go out there and knock out.
And he really doesn't have power.
And knocked him out.
Currently, because with some of those shots, Herring kind of should have been out of there. I'm not saying he's feather-fisted, but I'm also not saying he has a ton of power. Going up in weight is bad. Bad idea for Shakur right now.
Shakur's...
He needs
Shakur
to
is out there.
get there.
Shakur is out there scoring points, and he's in charge of the fight. And he wasn't shooting for a knockout. Eventually, it would have come. I think if the referee didn't stop it, man, maybe in the following round he would have had that knockout. It's just not his style. He's not a knockout artist. think he's got like 8 or 9 knockouts in his career.
I think.
And you're not a
and
knockout artist because you don't have that power.
I
He
think
doesn't have the power.
Bill
No.
Development
Or the style.
It's
just
not
got
his.
Exactly.
It's not him. It's
Exactly.
just not him.
just got that man body now. He just got it. He didn't have it two fights ago. Even he didn't have the grown man body. Y'all saw the difference in the physicality. Like, give him a minute.
Okay.
That'd be
Right,
ideal.
okay.
I mean, even power is not something that you get when you come into your men's frame. Power is either you have it or you don't, and you show that real early in your career. And that's like, look at Tank. Tank was already knocking people out before he come to his men's strength, before he started having these weight issues. He's that's a type of power that is like, you don't really, you can increase a little bit at the gym, but you're not gonna have nothing a significant thing
Right.
where it's gonna be like, a knockout type of power.
So
Shakur
let me
is not that type.
hold on.
Even
let
his
me-
style is not that aggressive.
Yeah.
But he has scored some
But
knockdowns.
let me
We can change the subject all we want to, but I don't think a Devin Haney is going to be just running through his punches like that. And Devin Haney definitely don't have the power to do anything to secure properly. So I don't see that one. And I don't know who else you said. I need to see Ryan Garcia since, now he's had another surgery for a hand surgery. So we have to see where he's at. I'm just saying, like, Herring shouldn't be thinking he should retire because he got beat by one of the best boxers that's out there right now. He should.
Not at all, because
me-
Burchell's going to make a comeback pretty soon, and who's a great opponent for Burchell? I think Jamal Herring would fit that. He would fit in perfectly there.
True. But let me dead this power talk once and for all, okay? Because everybody keeps talking about the power. They said that Floyd Mayweather's whole damn career, and what did that make of him? Okay, one of the greatest boxers of our
No,
era.
he was destroying
the
boys.
greatest boxers of our era.
He was destroying
So
boys
let's
at this
dead
weight
this whole
division,
power
bro.
talk. Let's dead this whole power talk with that
Going for
discussion.
it, right, Malachi? Let's go.
He was pretty boy Floyd, and he was destroying boys at
Yeah.
this weight class.
That was
Yeah.
a different fighter there, Rob. I think you're
No, it's
confusing
the
money
same.
with
See,
Pretty
that's where
Boy.
y'all are. It's the same fighter. Okay,
Yeah.
Pretty Boy, Money, Shakur Stevenson. They're the same type of fighter.
Shakur is
I've
money
been
now,
through
though.
that.
He's
No,
not Pretty
no.
Boy.
Being said that-
He's money now.
Shakur
Shakur's
went
not-
out and
not
destroyed
either
the
or.
Diego Corrales as
Shakur's
the
not either
underdog.
or. Sorry.
Right? He went out there and destroyed the Diego. He was like, homie, Pretty Boy was smashing boys at this weight class.
Yeah,
Shakur is
I'm with
smashing them
Malachi.
too.
He smashed
Shakur is
them,
smashing
but
them
not
too.
like
He's
that.
smashing everybody that they put in front of him, and that's all I care about.
Lucas, is there a way? Lucas, is there a way we can record this? Because, like, I don't want to hear next Shakur fight that he looked bad, and then he goes into he ain't shit bugless.
They're all recorded. They're all on Facebook
They're
and YouTube
recorded.
and
Okay,
everything.
so we might need a clip of this.
How
right
you mad
now,
at me
Shakur's
tonight,
the
boy?
best
How
thing
you
ever.
mad?
For sure.
Dale says, when a fighter at his age and starting late in the sport, and he was a tip-top shape, does he really want to become a glorified gatekeeper? I mean, does anyone remember Timothy Bradley? Yeah, do y'all consider Timothy Bradley a gatekeeper? Because I do not. I'm usually with you,
No,
Dale,
Timothy
but I'm not with
Bradley.
you on this one, Dale. Dale, buddy, I gotta say, Timothy Bradley, he's at the top of his game. Timothy Bradley.
One of
Yeah,
the
he's
great.
probably gonna go to the
He's
hall.
one
or
of the
something.
great.
I think he should go to the hall, although I don't really agree with the first Pacquiao win. I mean, it's on the records, so I guess you got to include it. But Juan Marquez,
I mean, he fought some wars, man,
he's
against
a great
Provodnikov.
fighter.
Yeah,
Man,
that was the fight there. Like that, I'm like, dude, you just plateaued your whole
Man,
body to the Hall of Fame with that one fight. I mean,
every punch that landed in the Provodnikov fight, I'm like, man, there's a year off your life. There's a year off your life. There's a year off your life. I mean, man, he lost a
they're like-
decade at least. Like that's
yeah, those blows are like cigarettes, man.
But Dale, I do think I agree with you at this point. He's 35. Does he want to become a gatekeeper? I mean, not a lot of people want to do that. I don't see Jamal Herring doing that. I do see him fighting again. I think he's going to give it another good shot at a decent fighter. and see what he has. And if he fails to answer, then he's going to think about retirement. And let's not act like other fighters who, just coming off a loss after having a title haven't retired. I mean, do you guys remember Mike Jones?
Yeah.
Lost to Randall Bailey, lost again, and then he just went and did regular job. I mean, he's out of boxing. Prime. I mean, he had years in front of him. He could have, came back and reinvented himself. He said, "No, I'm just done." Rob, I think we're ready for your rapid fire. You teased it a little bit in our off-air discussions. I'm ready to hear what this is about.
I have a few, but I just want to make this first announcement for y'all in rapid fire session. Now, I don't know why you decided to go here, but my rapid fires are all over the place. So I thought you would want to get to other topics, but since you want to go here, we can go here.
I mean, we're running kind of short on time, so I'm trying to fit it in where I can get it in.
Mike Tyson confirms plans to step back in the ring. Iron Mike, ladies and gentlemen, wants to step back into the ring in February. He wants to take down either Logan or Jake Paul. What is your take on this? And everybody screaming.
Mike Tyson's trying to save boxing, okay? Look, the Paul brothers are an infection, and once again, he is going to cure boxing by just knocking the shit out of these two. Because I hope it happens and they're both allowed free reign, but I know it's just going to be some celebrity spectacle where he carries those two, because there is no way they're standing toe to toe with Mike Tyson. Even this Mike Tyson. Now, I wish it was Tyson in his prime, but we can't.
I just hope that this would not be confirmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard rumblings, but I was like, no, they don't.
There's too much money. There's too much money in that. Yeah. Somebody saw that, their mouth started water, and that everybody's gonna be rich off this stupid fight.
Well, I heard that this was confirmed. That I'm really averse to, the celebrity matchups, but I heard that or read that it was actually one of the Paul brothers was confirmed to fight Tyson. And I really don't know if that's true. I really don't follow it, so I didn't obviously follow up on that news. But I'm trying to figure out if this is true or not. And if it is, they're going to make some money. Tyson's got a money maker, and he is a money maker. Book it, make it, do it.
Rob would know. Rob, is it?
It's not.
Is
it
not actually?
Boxing, it's celebrity boxing.
Yeah, is it actually ESPN confirmed? Mr. ESPN.
So it's speculation right now who's gonna fight, but it is confirmed that Mike did say he is indeed getting back in the ring. He has February, this coming up February next year in mind, and an opponent to be named, which is either going to be Logan or Jake Paul. Right now, they haven't confirmed which one it will be, but it is indeed going to be one of the brothers that he fights.
Yeah, but these are not real matchups, because I don't think that he will be sanctioned to fight professionally, and this is probably going to be like in New York or Nevada. So I don't know. This is exhibition.
So
it'll be exhibition.
So what happened to the Lennox Lewis fight, though? Well, he was signed to fight Lennox.
Tyson was.
That one fell through. Lennox, the fight with him and Lennox fell through.
But he wanted more money, right? Lennox wanted way more of the pot.
Exactly.
Well, dang. I was hoping he got that payday. I mean, Mike's getting his paydays. He, he's an attraction. He knows how to get people from all over the world that's going to want to see. Is he going to be able to still be Iron Mike in there with these young YouTubers? And the YouTubers are going to want to see it because they think that their boys, one of their boys is going to win. So, yeah, that's a lot of money, and I don't see that whole scenario like Lucas is saying. It's not going to go away because there's so much money involved.
Yeah.
No, they're not going away. The Paul brothers are not going away. They're going to be in there making all these celebrity matchups and making their dough. And people who fight them are getting the ring with them. I shouldn't say fight.
Yeah.
Because it's not a fight. They're going to make some money too. And no one's walking away from this shit.
Yeah, and then now in reading further, it does look like it's going to be Logan Paul, because according to, and this is a quote from Tyson about Paul Logan, or hold on, see, I'm all mixed up with this.
You know,
Yeah, it's going to be Logan and not the other brother. And his quote about the other brother is that he's got balls for stepping in the ring and doing what he's doing right now. Let him have his reign, although he's got fucking balls. He said, anytime you see a white boy with balls, you know he's nothing to mess with. So we're gonna let him have his reign.
Oh man.
And I heard that it's Florida as a location.
Well,
of course, it's Florida. Florida's Wild West down there. It's Wild West.
One of the Paul brothers is an actual professional fighter now, right?
Yeah, that's the one who doesn't. They're saying that he's not gonna fight.
No, and Jake does have some skill. I just want to see him actually against some fighters. That'd be nice. But he's really not taking it seriously. He's still doing the exhibition stuff. He's not really doing any actual bucks.
I think that
Javi,
Jake's getting ready to fight one of the. Isn't Jake gonna fight the youngest Fury?
I don't know if that's confirmed yet either, but I heard that. Yeah, Tommy Fury. But Rob, okay, inside joke for those who maybe not follow us so much, but we are closer to that match that you dreamt of a long time ago of Mike Tyson fighting Floyd Mayweather. We might be able to find out what you were talking about.
And you guys always talk smack about me for that. However, I still stand by my prediction. Floyd Mayweather will run circles around Mike Tyson. Circles.
All right, hang on here. We got William Hunter says, I know for 100% fact, no Tyson versus Paul. I had to keep Tyson versus Jones a secret for almost a year. I sent Sakura the video, but couldn't let her drop it until Trilla announced. Sakura laughing.
That was really something to hold tight. Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
It's like you know some information, it's burning. You just burning to tell it, and it's like, don't tell it. I'm like, damn.
So
I hate getting those.
Can we confirm? Is Tyson fighting now? Is Tyson fighting for sure? Like he's telling everybody in next year. That's really what I want to know.
And even then, you gotta have an opponent worth. I mean, there's no point in jumping back in there. Sorry, Sakura, didn't mean to cut you off.
It's definitely not going to be Triller. Sorry, it's not going to be Triller because Tyson did some work with Triller.
Not no more.
Well, hey, maybe we'll lead up to it. Maybe after Mike, steps in there with Paul brother, then the lead up is that he gets to fight Floyd, and Rob can finally see his fantasy fight.
Oh, that'll be the biggest, I told you.
I mean, that would draw a lot of money. But if they do fight, I really hope they let Tyson off the leash. Don't be like Roy Jones Jr. and have to hold back.
Right.
Yeah, but these Paul brothers, they have their own promotional company now, right?
Yes.
Didn't they form their own?
I think so.
For someone who's not invested in celebrity fights, I'm pretty invested asking questions here.
We all know a little bit.
Because you run into this shit on the internet
looks
all the
like
time.
He done turned his camera off.
Right.
Javi's like, I don't talk about YouTubers. I don't talk about YouTubers.
I'm gonna let you have it, man. This YouTuber shit, I'm gonna let you have it.
You don't. Javi, don't stoop that low.
All right, Rob. Next.
This was not
This was not very rapid fire. What else you got?
No, that was pretty much it.
You said you had like a few.
The other one that I have here, but I don't think anybody's read. But Floyd Mayweather did recently speak out on the vaccination stuff, and he had something to say about Kyrie Irving's particular situation, where Kyrie Irving plays for the Nets, but he's not playing this year because he refuses to get vaccinated. With all of these mandates, with vaccinations and everything else going on, you would think that Floyd, being especially someone who still wants to sort of be active in the boxing community, would not speak out on that. But he actually supports Kyrie Irving, basically saying, and I quote, "America is the land of the free, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and supposedly freedom to choose. I respect you," meaning Kyrie, "for having some integrity and being your own man. A free mind makes his own choices. Enslaved mind follows the crowd." So basically, he's saying that he doesn't agree with people being forced mandated on vaccinations. As people are out here losing their jobs, their livelihoods over it. Why would Floyd speak this into existence, especially somebody who's in the game promoting and everything like that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna start like a huge vaccine debate, but you know, we aren't forcing people to do other vaccines. That's what I don't understand. Like measles and polio. If we're gonna force it, why don't we force the ones that'll actually abolish it? That's part of the problem. Is we see measles coming back because these people don't believe in vaccinations, so they just say the hell with it.
Well, they get religious exemptions. That's what they do. But if you want to go to school, if you don't have a religious exemption, then yes, your children do have to be vaccinated. That's how it was when we was growing up too.
And that's how they get most people because.
Right. People. Go ahead. Be great.
That
I think would agree with being free and having choice. He's one of the few men in America that is actually free. You don't have to go to work every day. You don't have to pay bills when there's hardly nothing there. He can drive what he wants to drive every day. He can have what woman he wants every day. He can go to whatever country in the world he wants to go to. He's actually literally free. So I would think that he would support the concept of being free. While the rest of us, we got to get back to work in the morning and enjoy our so-called freedom.
I would have been more okay with all the mandates, and this is the last thing we're going to say about mandating vaccines because we're a boxing website. But I would have been more okay with it when they came out. But then they said, "But Congress is exempt." What? No, what's good for us is good for you. No. That immediately was like, maybe I shouldn't get that jab. That made me double question myself right there because I'm like, why wouldn't you want it? So it is what it is. But let's see. William Hunter says, with Jones, he signed a $100,000 non-disclosure through RJJ. Tyson and Paul both have owned companies. Trilla owns Fight TV. I did not know that, William Hunter. Thank you for telling me. So they are just a platform to broadcast. Okay. I did want to say we do have a fight this weekend that I'm actually surprised Sakura has not brought up because it is women. Do you know who's fighting this weekend, Sakura?
Is it Michaela? Mans?
No.
I don't know. What female fight are we talking about?
From Gary, Indiana, we got Mary McGee fighting for the WBC Women's Junior Welterweight title. Owner, which is Chantel Cameron. And that will be on DAZN.
Oh, see, that's why I don't know. Because I don't go to DAZN unless I actually know about a fight to watch right before the fight begins.
He is a tough fighter. McGee is a tough fighter.
Mary McGee.
Well, Chantel Cameron is 14-0. I was looking at this earlier. And she got 8 knockouts, I believe. So it's could be a good brawl.
I don't know. As a female, I'm supposed to know about every female fight.
You are. No,
I'm just. You're usually so up to.
Because you're the one that like to stalk female boxers, depending on what they're wearing.
She just called you sexist. But I wanted to. We have some exclusive footage, so I did want to say that I actually am sharing the link now onto our Facebook page. So if you're following us on social media at Heavy Bag Boxing, you can check out a fight that we have, an amazing back and forth war featuring Mary McGee. So Definitely check that fight out. You are going to want to see it.
Don't forget.
Hey, look at him supporting the ladies, y'all. I love it.
Don't
And my
don't
local
forget
people. You know?
Jose Zapata this weekend as well.
That's true.
Jose Zapata versus Vargas.
Yep.
Jose Vargas, he's training right here.
Mm.
My
Is
man
it
Vargas
Boots?
looking ready, by the way, too. That's gonna be
Boots
a good
Ennis
fight.
fights this weekend too, right?
That'll be on ESPN Plus. Where's? Wait a minute. Where's Boots fight?
It's
It's gonna be a
10:30.
good fight. They're both southpaw. They're both
He's
quick,
fighting
explosive.
Thomas DeLone.
Yeah.
On the
Come
same
on, man.
card?
10:30. Yeah, the 30th of this month.
On
That's
ESPN?
this weekend.
This is weekend.
On the Zapata card?
Jamal James.
No, I don't know what card it's
Yes.
on.
I didn't see him.
Yes.
I didn't see that anywhere.
Yeah,
I
feel
think
like
your
it was
I think your
Jamal
ESPN's
James.
failing me there, Rob.
I don't know much.
I didn't see Butinas here either.
Yeah, maybe
No,
that
that's,
that
no,
fight got
that's-
taken
that's
out.
Further, that's further down the line. But another fight that we're going to see this weekend is Jamal James versus, can't say his name, Radzab Butaev. Could be pretty good. But Shango, Jamal James from Minnesota, I believe, is a badass at 147.
Right.
He's coming to the party. And shout out to Jamal James. I know you're watching, Jamal James.
Boots must got delayed.
Get some sleep, but let me ask you something. Oh shit!
So-
You need to mute, buddy.
We can hear
To
you.
clear up,
Hey, Abby. Welcome to Tough Talk.
My apologies, guys.
All
I
good.
just wanted to bring something though. Whenever you guys, I know you haven't touched on that, but I wanted to touch a little bit on Xander Zayas, man. That kid looked impressive. You know, I know we in awe right now. Shakur, he just passed Lomachenko on the top ranks. Probably, you know, I'm surprised that my man Robert even touching about that, because you know he couldn't even touch on the 130s. 135 and under didn't matter, but I guess now 130 is they're good to go, and they're the GOAT, the new GOAT. But Xander Zayas, man, that kid has everything, man. Same thing, you know, you can see the potential, and you can definitely see power in this kid. He overwhelms you. He comes in there to you know what I'm saying, to do his thing, and I feel like this is the closest we have seen a fighter to be able to represent Puerto Rico the way, you know, the Puerto Rico's champion has been represented, like Cotto, Trinidad. We haven't had a good, strong fighter like that, and I think this kid has that factor, man. We're still yet to see, though. I don't want to call it yet. I don't want to jump the gun and get all excited based on one fight. But I think there's a lot of potential.
Now he's fighting at 54, right?
Yes.
Cierto?
Yeah, at
Bobby?
154.
Okay, yeah. No, the guy looked good. It's a shame, man. In his last fight this weekend, he was fighting a Carpensy, and those Carpensies are tough, man. They're tough brothers. But you know, skills were a little bit lacking there on whatever Carpensy that was fighting. Guy was tough. He was tough as nails, man. But Xander Zayas is a complete package. I cannot wait to see him fight again.
And I like the fact that he's so humble and he's like such a gym rat. Like, I'm positive that he was like.
Wait a minute. There's no such thing as a humble Puerto Rican.
Javi, you don't let him talk about your people like that.
Which one?
Puerto Ricans. He said there's no such thing as a humble Puerto Rican.
Hey, man, I don't know. You might have a point.
So my take on this kid, and I'm big on comparisons. I don't give a damn. Zayas is the next Miguel Cotto. That's honestly, truly what I believe. And until he proves me to be the factor that he ain't shit, in my eyes, he could be the next Miguel Cotto.
I think
Yeah, I can
once
see that. I can
once
see
a
it too.
show,
But I wouldn't call
Rob
it yet.
crowns somebody the next somebody else. At least one time in the show, he's like, "Wait a minute, no, he's the new Floyd Mayweather. Oh, no, he's the new Miguel Cotto."
Damn. Somebody got to take one of them.
So a couple of corrections in here, guys. The Jermell James fight is actually on Showtime this weekend, and the undercard is Boots Ennis versus Thomas DeLorme.
Oh,
Thomas
yes, yes,
Storm and
yes.
Boots is this weekend. They will be fighting on the undercard of Jamal James, his fight. So that's definitely a card you want to check out.
That's right. And I'll take your predictions for the Boots Ennis fight as well a little bit later
All right.
during the week.
That's going
Yeah.
really under the radar. You would think that they would be a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have any knowledge of that fight happening this weekend. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's on our calendar.
Credit,
On our,
credit Malachi for that. Malachi
It slid under the
great
radar.
catch. Great catch, Malachi.
Thank you.
I knew that Jamal James was fighting, but I didn't know that Ennis Boots was on that undercard.
Same.
So,
Same. I did not know.
yeah.
And then
Crazy.
Shakur,
That's a tournament fight.
yeah. And then Shakur Michaela is fighting on November 5th. So that's where Michaela's next fight is November 5th.
So another week in 2 weeks, basically. Tuesday.
Yeah.
I also want to see my girl Alicia Baumgartner. She's supposed to be fighting soon, and that's going to be a really good fight because she has the skills, but you know, people wasn't stepping up. She was calling out Michaela Mayers, but she wasn't having that either. So I'm proud to know that she's about to like finally have her coming out, you know, boxing event per se. So that one's gonna be good. And then KO Katie Reese is also she's on the undercard as the co-main for the Andrade fight. So it's gonna be some good women fights coming up soon.
All right, now guys, I want to make sure because we got everybody on, which is a rare occasion. Y'all try to make it on next Tuesday. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, because that's Canelo Plant. Okay, we gotta have a big show for Canelo Plant. So we gotta have it all here. We're gonna have predictions, the whole nine. So if you are listening, definitely check us out. Again, that's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific next Tuesday. Thank you all for coming on. This is a great show, and we will see you next week.